offering the concept of neurodiversity. And I defined it as sort of accepting people whose brains function differently in response to stigma. And so when I said to you, stigma begets law, begets public policy, in the middle of that is the recognition, sort of deflect the stigma, is neurodiversity. Let's accept folks, no matter what their brain functioning levels are. And I'm suggesting that is the next civil rights issue. Right now, the Madison Street Jail is the state's largest mental health treatment facility. Our sheriff put on the internet pictures of people who had been arrested. These are people who hadn't been convicted of a crime, had simply been arrested. And perhaps this is obvious, but when a person is being arrested, they're likely not at their best. I had a young man talk to me, a consumer, a person with a mental illness, after that issue broke. And what he said was, he had been arrested once when he was ill and had a psychotic break. And he's now well, stable, functioning in our community, working well. And he said if he had had a picture of his taken at the moment of his arrest and placed on the internet, he likely would have taken his own life. But to hear it from a person who would have been dramatically affected had that happened to him suggests how dreadful that kind of action can be. Further, the thinking that, look at this guy, it furthers the belief that people with mental illness are dangerous. That's not true. People with mental illness are no more dangerous than folks without mental illness. Autonomy and self-determination, these critical ethical principles that drive everything we do in our work. And each of those principles was violated by his placing those pictures on the internet. Not okay.
Where do you kind of draw the line on acceptance in general? Like, I can accept you as a person versus somebody who maybe has a personality disorder or just is kind of being a jerk. Is there a line between?
You know, I'm sure there is, but I'm not sure what the importance or significance of it is. Again, if you can embrace the notion of neurodiversity, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether a person has a personality disorder or is ratcheted up to a schizoaffective disorder or a bipolar disorder. It doesn't matter. Whatever their disabilities are, it's, I would suggest, the community's job, perhaps responsibility, to adapt to those differences and absorb folks. They're people, each of us is a person, and we have rights and wants and needs, whether we have a brain disorder or not, whether we have a stomach disorder or not, whether our leg is shorter than the other or not. And those issues seem to me to be unimportant in terms of accepting people in the community. We're talking about making people happy. If I'm a person with a brain disorder, I'm happy if I'm thought of as a person, period. And that is consistent with